The fabled Tuscany area of central Italy spans from the Apennine Mountains to the west coast, weaving through countless vineyards, medieval villages, and the achingly gorgeous cities of Florence, Siena, and Pisa. Tuscany is renowned for its natural beauty, rich history, artistic legacy, and impact on world culture. It is thought to have laid the groundwork for both the Italian Renaissance and the Italian language. The Tuscan dialect was later developed into the language of culture in all of Italy due to the reputation it gained from its usage in literature by Dante Alighieri, Petrarch, Giovanni Boccaccio, Niccolo Machiavelli, and Francesco Guicciardini. Following Veneto, Tuscany is the second most visited region in Italy by tourists. Florence, Castiglione della Pescaia, Pisa, San Gimignano, Lucca, Grosseto, and Siena are the top tourist destinations. Castiglione della Pescaia is the most popular beach resort in the area, with seaside tourism making up about 40% of visitor arrivals. Additionally well-known and particularly well-liked destinations for tourists are the Maremma region, Siena, Lucca, the Chianti region, Versilia, and Val d'Orcia. Tuscany is shaped like a triangle and shares boundaries with Liguria to the northwest, Emilia-Romagna to the north, Marche and Umbria to the east, and Lazio to the southeast. Within Emilia-Romagna, the commune, municipality, of Badia Tedalda, in the Tuscan province of Arezzo, contains an exclave called Cie Raffaello. The Tuscan archipelago, whose most important island is Elba, is part of Tuscany's western shoreline on the Ligurian Sea and the Tyrrhenian Sea. The size of Tuscany is roughly 22,993 square kilometers, 8,878 square miles. With few, but fertile, plains and huge mountain chains encircling and traversing the area, the relief is dominated by mountainous agricultural land. Hills and mountains, of which the tallest are the Apennines, make up about two-thirds, 66.5% of the region's total area, totaling 15,292 square kilometers, 5,904 square miles, 2,230 square miles. 8.4% of the total land, or 1,930 square kilometers, 750 square miles, is made up of plains, mostly in the Arno Valley. The Arno River's banks are home to many of Tuscany's most important cities, including the state capital of Florence, Empoli, and Pisa. With significant temperature swings between winter and summer and a climate that is milder along the coast and harsher and rainier inland, the area experiences an active freeze-thaw cycle that helps build soil, which may have contributed to the area's former role as an important breadbasket for ancient Rome. Tuscany entices visitors with the promise of a cozier, kinder way of life in contrast to the modern world we live in today, which is marked by alarm clocks, deadlines, and traffic jams. High art mingles delectably with the warm sunshine and aromatic wine in this location. Small occurrences are converted into the greatest of delights when history permeates the cobblestones. Around 600 years ago, the Renaissance was brought about by the collision of political, cultural, and economic forces in Tuscany. It represented a new way of thinking in which the pursuit of happiness was seen as a noble endeavor and art and education as high values. Despite the fact that a lot has changed since then, Tuscany's principles remain true, and tourists might spend days or even weeks gently rediscovering them. The capital city of Florence served as the epicenter of the Renaissance. The Renaissance is seen as having its beginnings in Tuscany, particularly in Florence. Florence expanded its control over Tuscany in the 15th century by annexing Arezzo in 1384, purchasing Pisa in 1405, and quelling local resistance there, despite the fact that Tuscany remained a linguistic, cultural, and geographic conception rather than a political reality. 1406. After being acquired in 1421, Livorno served as Florence's harbor. Powerful families have competed with one another and the church for ages to build the largest structures and commission the best pieces of art. The wealthy bought status by supporting writers, painters, and intellectuals, and geniuses like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci flourished in this environment. The Accademia Gallery and the Uffizi Gallery, two of the oldest art museums in the Western world, still display the works of other greats like Botticelli and Raphael, who also traversed these streets. Under this system, Florence's architecture also prospered, and many of the famous structures from that era still stand today. Florence resembles a vibrant museum with its stunning churches, ornate palaces, and historical piazzas. Not just Florence and Tuscany reverberates with the glittering footsteps of history. The province of Siena engaged in heated rivalry with Florence throughout the Renaissance and commissioned many of its own exquisite works to entice affluent Florentine families. Visit medieval hill towns like Montechiello and Montalcino, which figured prominently in a number of historical power conflicts. Sit high on these towns' ages-old ramparts, which have hardly changed in the last 1,000 years. Pisa is a fantastic city to explore on foot and is well known across the world for its renowned tower. The hilltop village of Volterra is a couple of hours' drive away. Since the time of the Romans, skilled alabaster artisans have created works of art from this brilliant stone. Mother Nature's creations, however, are undoubtedly Tuscany's greatest works of art. Since the time of the Romans, Tuscany's natural beauty has been luring tourists with its warm thermal springs, undeveloped beaches, and wildflower-filled national parks. Visit historic ports that seem to have been here forever on Tuscany's west coast to see a shoreline that stretches for hundreds of kilometers. A wilder area of Tuscany may be found a little further south, where you can take in the region's rolling hills, wildflowers, and warm appreciation of life's finer pleasures, including wine, of course. Take your taste buds to the Chianti vineyards by meandering through olive trees warmed by the sun. Many of the vines in this region are connected to castles, and each produces a wine that carries the name of the castle. This region is known across the world for its earthy flavor of wine. Cortona and Arezzo, two lovely towns, are well known for their wines. Enjoy a picnic made with seasonal produce, cheeses, and cured meats while sipping wine paired with Tuscany's famously straightforward cuisine. Tuscany's rolling hills are teeming with locally grown food, whose flavors embody the spirit of the region. There are still remnants of the Renaissance in Tuscany, even if it is now only a historical event in the rest of the world. They persist in the serene hills, warm customs, magnificent art, and the area's never-ending pursuit of pleasure. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more travel videos if you liked our video.